Hello everybody. Unfortunately, I just wasted an hour of my time because, again, I recorded a full video with no sound. Really hate when I do that. So this is going to be shorter, unfortunately. That last video that I just made that had no sound, I felt like was one of my better ones too. So I'm probably going to miss some information here that I went over in my last video. So I'm sorry about that. It's just sometimes technology just doesn't work out. Okay. So I just got back from my vacation. It's been a while since I've had an update. But today I want to get into a few things. So it's going to be the standard protocol, which is showing you what profit I've made so far this week. Then I'm going to get into the community questions. And then I'm actually going to talk about a new thing that I've never mentioned in any of my videos before, cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency has been something that's really in the public eye right now. And I've actually been involved in cryptocurrencies since December 2016. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later on. But first, let's get into trading this week. There hasn't been much action, guys. I haven't had any trades in this entire week. Just not good price action, low liquidity. Volume has been pretty rough on pretty much all the pairs that I've been trading. And I didn't want to make any trades I didn't want to start trying to create trades when I didn't see anything that really made a lot of sense. So nothing manifested itself to me. So I haven't taken anything. I've actually added a few more funds to my account. So you see 506 now. It used to be just over 300. The pound Canadian dollar has moved down this week about 150 pips. Just not good places for reversals, at least not with the candlesticks. Yeah, there are some candles that show that there could be some bounces here, but no inside candles. So my expert advisor didn't take any positions on any of my accounts. And just to show you what that looks like, yeah, I still have a 70% gain on this account, but zero profit for this week, zero profit for this week in today, and then zero profit for this week and today as well. All right, the new EA that I'm testing is a scalping EA. This is on a demo account. Now it's made some profit today, just not a lot. This I'm actually testing on an Oanda account, and it's been doing very well for the last 2 weeks. I'm planning on moving the funds that are just sitting, the 10,000 that have been sitting, back into my Oanda account, so I can trade this strategy live. Now that's something that I haven't fully decided on yet, but it's something that I'm strongly considering for this week. Okay, so you guys remember, maybe I've talked about Trader's Way in the past. I went over to Trader's Way a little bit, saying that I was considering them as a broker that I would maybe use. And used a $500 account with them for a few days. Things went well. I liked the price, the action, and their price feed, and things were good. The withdrawal was fast as well. But problems came into when I did a wire transfer. I did a wire transfer of $10,000. And you know that $10,000 that was sitting in my Oanda account was in my bank account because I withdrew it from the Oanda and was going to use Trader's Way as one of my main brokers, at least temporarily. Well, that wire transfer was sent on the 9th. It was received by their bank on the 9th. As you guys know, wire transfers only take a maximum of an hour, even to another country. Doesn't matter where it is. And that's typical. I didn't hear anything from Trader's Way until the 13th, after I wrote them a message on Friday saying, "Where's my wire?" They said, "Oh, well, it takes a few days." It's like, oh, all right, that's odd. So Monday goes by, nothing. Tuesday goes by, I write them. I say, "Where's my wire? I've been waiting. This has been taking way too long." "Oh, it takes 3 to 5 business days for us to receive it." So what do? They start getting mad at me. because I'm pressing them thinking that I am expecting my wire right away. But you guys know how, if most of you probably know how wires work. They are pretty instant and within 30 minutes to an hour. So there's no reason why they would be giving me excuses of why they haven't received it. It was really strange. So they said that basically if I'm going to be complaining about, an instant wire, then they don't really want to do business with me. So what they do, they declined the wire when they came in. I received it on today, actually. I just received it today. So they declined it and it was sent back to me. Alright, that's fine. I'm not going to be doing business with Traders Way anymore because of how they behaved and reacted to a large deposit of 10,000. So unfortunately, this broker is out of my vision now for larger use. So you can see my accounts here, and this is the Maverick FX one with 24,315. I've profited about 1.2% in this account this month, so not huge. It's only about $250 roughly, and but it's not just about the profit here. It's about trying to get to the next levels. So if I'm profitable for this month, I will move to level 3. Level 3 will give me an additional 20,000 at Maverick. Now I'll talk more about Maverick and some of the questions that came through in just a second. Okay, so I have my $506 account. I also have the 125,000 account at Oando that I'm trading for my friend Robert. I also have the wherever it is. I have too many freaking accounts. Okay, yeah, it's this one here from my friend Jared. I'm also trading for him, 18,000. So all in all, still managing roughly about $176,000 overall. Okay. So let's get into the community questions. Since I don't have a lot to talk about with trading, there's just not been a lot of action going on with the markets that I like to see and like to trade. So I've just been kind of staying on the sideline, watching price go, and trying not to make trades happen when it's not the appropriate time. So actually, before I get into community questions, I wanted to talk about let's see, hold on a second, see if I can find my way around here. Okay, yes, so as you guys, some of you know, I've been on Forex signals in the past. That's kind of where I started these videos and streams. And my account, my MaverickFX account, this $500 one, has always been connected to, well, not always, but in the last few months has been connected to Nick's trading competition here. He holds a trading competition every single month, and the top prize is 750, second is 500, third place is 250. Now, so far this month, I'm actually first place, and so maybe I could win $750. I mean, it's not a big deal. I'll just put it towards something else if that's the case. Who knows? There's still 2 weeks left of the month. But so far it's going well, and it's basically this account, guys. It's this MaverickFX account that's been going very well at really high risk because I just don't have a lot of funds in it yet. So that's the account that's being tracked there. Things are going well. Who knows? Maybe I'll win that competition. All right, community questions. So the last 2 videos I haven't really done much answering questions, and so I'm going to start with YouTube. And Harley is the first one that I'm going to mention. Okay, so Harley, I believe that you're Eurobus as well on Forex Factory, and he writes a message here. So we've been talking. Well, in one of my last videos, I talked a little bit about the SFE-EA. So the SFE-EA, which is a retail EA that sells for $2,000 on MQL5.com, and I couldn't recommend this EA because, well, one, it was really expensive, and two, it it just didn't, the creator did not disclose the strategy behind the expert advisor, making it really difficult to know how to approach this retail EA in the market. So Harley was asking, well, if why does he have to disclose how his EA works if you don't? Well, Harley, you got to remember that I actually have disclosed how my EA works in my previous videos. I'm not sure if you've watched those or not. It seems like maybe not. But I did tell people how my EA worked, the options behind it. I mean, hell, people have even created an EA on Forex Factory of what my I'm not sure who's shared it. I know that there was an MQL5 version of it shared, but I don't know if that's something that you want to use or not. But I have disclosed what my EA does and how it works. And he's asking, why haven't I sold my EA? I have in the past. I did about 6 months ago, sold it for $500 or something. I was uncomfortable with selling it. I thought there was too much value in the expert advisor, and I didn't want to sell it anymore. Also, I had a lot of ideas of improving it and didn't want to send these improvements to the retail space or the people that I sold it to. And it was just a lot of trouble, more trouble than it was worth. So that's one reason why I'm not selling it and don't plan to. So this is the, let's see if I can find the expert advisor. So this is the expert advisor. And so the user is also doing a signal service on MQL5. And it shows that he's got a long track record since 2015. Remember, Harley and others that are looking for retail EAs, that it doesn't matter how long your track record actually is. Your strategy could crumble easily starting right now. It just depends on the market, because the market's constantly adapting, and a lot of times expert advisors can't adapt with it. So we don't know how long the strategy is going to work for, if it's going to stop working, if it's going to continue. It's a big risk. It's a big gamble. So how do we avoid risk like that when using an expert advisor, especially in the retail space? Well, for one, I just don't recommend buying and using a retail EA unless somehow the user discloses what and where and when and how the trades are actually entered. What indicators does it use, and so on and so forth. It's just because you won't know how to correctly adapt to what you're seeing and how trades are going in. For example, here's a review. I'm not sure if you've seen this, guys, but this is a review from this from the signal service. Now, I know, Harley, I'm not picking on you. I know that you just recently had some losses with this EA, and it even shows here on the account right here at the end. Well, the circle's not working. But yeah, right here at the end, he's right now suffering from a 4.88% loss. That could change since we still have 2 weeks left of the month, but we'll see. So this review says I was up 5%. Now I'm down 3.5. I don't know what happened. It happened in the last 2 hours. Lost a lot of profits, and so quickly. What happened today? A nightmare opened. The EA opened up many short Euro US dollar trades and long Euro pound trades all at once, and he says which were all wrong. Is this signal stable? As the description said, I thought it was low risk profile. I was very naive. And then he says, unlike the description, it made me feel like walking with a bomb. Alright, we all know that feeling, right? That feeling really, really is hard to handle. It's those emotions kicking in. And you guys may know that, or I've taught that the more comfortable you are with the strategy, the less stress that you'll have using that strategy. Now this guy's having a lot of stress because one, it sounds like he's fairly new to using this retail EA, but two, he doesn't know why it entered the positions that it did. It didn't make sense to him. And I'm saying that's a him when I could be a she as well. So he or she is having a lot of stress using this retail expert advisor because they don't understand why it's entering the trades that it is. And that's the problem with the retail EA space. Not just with this EA, but with all of the ones out there. You gotta know what you're trading, so you can adapt, so you can have an ease of mind, so you can understand where the market is going and understand why these trades are being taken, so you can potentially adapt yourself or modify your program or expert advisor or system so that it continues to adapt with that market. That's something that retail EAs don't do very well. Yeah, the guy or the girl can send you, or woman can send you updates to the expert advisor, but I can make adjustments to my expert advisor on the fly. And that's what I'm trying to recommend to you guys, is building and creating your own systems and expert advisors so you can adapt accordingly. With a retail EA, it's too hard to do that, and you'll have places of losses, even profits that don't really make sense to you. Profits are really easy to push aside because you're like, oh, it made profit, that's fine. But when a loss happens, you're just like, oh, what happened? Why did the expert advisor take these positions? They didn't make a lot of sense. What strategy is it following? So then you have this stress involved because you don't know if it's going to pull out of it. You're hoping that because it has a long track record, that it's going to pull out of it. So you stay positive. What if the strategy does not adapt and it continues to start losing? Then you keep holding on. You keep holding on, and because you're thinking that it's an expensive EA. I paid a lot of money for it. That means it must be good. And it has a long track record, so that means it's probably going to keep working. No, that's not true. I have the same issue. My expert advisor is prone to not adapting to the future market. Every expert advisor is. But that's why I'm constantly working with it, checking with it, and testing it to make sure that it's adapting as quickly as I possibly can. Or I'm adapting the expert advisor to the market as quickly as I can. The market's always going to be one step ahead, but I can adapt faster than somebody like this can when he's got a whole community working with him and expecting changes to the market or changes to the expert advisor that adapts to the current market or the future market condition. So if you guys send me a retail EA, I'm probably not going to be able to, and ask my thoughts on it, I'm probably not going to be able to recommend it. It's the same thing that happened with the Happy Forex 2.2, version 2.2. A fantastic expert advisor. But I could never use it because the creator would never describe what the strategy was behind it. So I could never trust using it on my live account because of that reason. Alright, so moving on. That's pretty much the last I'll have to say about this expert advisor. And it's not just about this, it's about all expert advisors. So really keep that in mind, guys, when you're buying and purchasing software, because most of the expert advisors out there are garbage. That's the one thing that you should be worried about. And two, can they adapt? And three, where's the strategy? What's the strategy behind it? These are all things that you should know before using an expert advisor on your account, and that's why creating your own software is usually the best approach, so you know exactly what's going on. All right, so moving on. Trading with Lenorth. Now he wrote a very long message. He's a trader that is doing has a similar video series as I do, and publishing them on YouTube. He's been getting a lot of feedback from the community, and negative feedback from the community, because he's being more protective about his profits and losses, his count, and not showing a lot of live trades and not showing his face on camera, means that he's potentially trying to hide. I don't think so, not at this stage. I watched a couple of his videos and thought they had some decent information in them, and also I looked at a brief picture of his EMA usage, so his 2 indicators that he uses, and I saw some good potential. So I can't say many bad things about what he's offering yet, but I can say that I haven't looked at a whole lot, and I don't plan on looking at more threads on Forex Factory and talking about them, because I just don't have the time right now, and I'll get into that later, why I don't have the time. So sorry for those of you that are wanting me to check out your threads, or if you're wanting me to kind of review others. That's just not something that I'm going to be doing much of in the future. Okay, thanks Emmanuel for your comments as well. It's very nice. Okay, so moving on. So this is a quick question from Nafis, I think that's how you spell his name, in regards to my Maverick FX video that I made not too long ago. Now, some of you guys know that Maverick FX, since I've talked about them quite a bit, they're a proprietary firm, and they allow me to trade their funds, the majority of their funds. But they do have a somewhat of a rule that if I'm trading at level 3, which is 40,000 total dollars, they want my portion to be at least 20% of that 40,000. So that means that they want me to have 8,000, and they will have 32,000 in the account. So the majority of the funds are theirs, and I get to keep at this stage 75% of the profits. So it seems like it's not a bad deal. But if I have a drawdown and I have, for example, a really high drawdown of 20%, then my funds, my $8,000 are the funds that are at risk. They try to negate their risk, or try to minimize their risk. I can't say negate, but they try to minimize their risk by making your portion of the funds invested the funds that take the hit if there is a loss or drawdown. So it is a drawback. It's one of the biggest drawbacks with them. They try to their business, and they try to minimize their risk. And it doesn't mean that they don't take any risk, because it depends on the trader and how they approach their trading. They may end up taking some risk in the future and holding on to, say, your drawdown a bit longer than just 20%. But it is potentially an issue. So this comment here was basically talking about that. Why use them with such a negative piece of information? You say, why not just use a broker and use your strategy at 5 times the risk in that case? Because that's basically what you're doing at Maverick. It's not that easy. I'm a US trader, so I only have a couple options. I only have the available leverage of 50 to 1 at Forex.com or Oanda. That's pretty much my 2 only options here in the States. So I can't run my strategy at 5 times the risk. It just won't work with that leverage. So I have to look at other options. MaverickFX is still an option that I am considering and still working with until I see a bigger reason to leave them. Again, it's the same thing that I mentioned before. I still have the opportunity to trade upwards of 300,000. Now, my idea or thoughts may change with Maverick over the course of time. I'm going to see how they work with upgrading to the different levels. And if I see hesitation or problems involved in that, then I may end up leaving and looking for other options. But this is what this video series is about, is me trying to find the best options as a US trader of how to get how to use the skills that I've gained and learned over the last 12 years. And it's not easy for us US traders to really make that happen. Okay, so getting into the questions here at Forex Factory on my thread. There's been a lot of questions asked regarding the grid that I use. In the grid that I use, I have 20 pips for each of my trades. And now that there might be a better way, the drawdown is ridiculous, having 16 trades open, and why holding on to them so long? Why does a 20 pip grid make sense? And it all stemmed a lot from this picture here, from Steve Pat. So Steve posted a picture from the pound Japanese yen. I actually recommended him not using this pair because I didn't find it to be very solid in my testing. It didn't have big enough pullbacks in the market. Pullback here, since these are all buy trades in this area every 20 pips. This pullback finally happened, but we didn't get enough of these on this pair to really help when trades got into like a larger basket, when a trade basket got larger, and we needed to use pairs that had larger pullbacks for us to get out of that basket in profit. So this was a 16 trade basket. That's pretty dang high. Yes, he only received 25% drawdown. So luckily, I believe he is not using too much risk, but I'm not sure exactly what his risk is. Yeah, he's using 0.5%, 50%. He's using about double the risk I am on my Oanda accounts. So that's a risk I would use with 100 to 1 leverage. And so yeah, I would have received a 25% drawdown if I had 100 to 1 leverage as well. But 50 to 1, I have to use the strategy with the less drawdown or less risk. So that means that this 25% drawdown would have been a lot less than that. For splitting it in half, it'd be about 12%, just over 12%. Okay, but I don't trade this pair. This is not a pair that I recommend to anybody because it doesn't work. The pair behavior does not work with my strategy as well as the ones that I'm using. All right, so that's kind of what I wanted to talk about with the community questions. Now I want to get into cryptocurrency. This is what I'm going to spend the next, well, I guess I'm going to be doing this for another 30 minutes. I'm going to try to spend the next 15 to 30 minutes talking about cryptocurrency. Now, cryptocurrency is something that's been around for a while. Bitcoin, I think, was introduced in 2009 or 2010, so a long time ago. An investment of $100 in Bitcoin back in 2010 would have been worth roughly $2.53 million right now. Actually, no, much more than that. It would have been probably 3 to 5 million. An investment of $100, and so that's what people are trying to reproduce now. Is since Bitcoin is now worth $4,139 at the current market for just one Bitcoin, what is it going to be worth? Or what's the next Bitcoin that's going to, or next cryptocurrency that's going to get to that price? So everybody's trying to seek that out, and so people are kind of losing their vision. Why not just trade some Bitcoin? Because you don't have to buy a full Bitcoin in order to get involved. You can buy a half a Bitcoin, a quarter, a tenth of a Bitcoin, and you can do it that way. So I'm going to be talking about, and I'll probably start talking more about cryptocurrency in my stream. So hopefully that doesn't turn you guys off. In my video, I don't keep calling it a stream, but in my video series. And the reason why is because I am going to be getting involved in a little bit bigger of a way, and I'll get into why right now, actually. I was involved in cryptocurrency, started getting involved in cryptocurrency, in particular Bitcoin, back in 2016. So December 2016. I went to and got involved with a little company called Genesis Mining. I see they actually pull up here. Or it's just going to crash. So Genesis Mining was a cloud mining Bitcoin service. And it looks like, oh, here it goes. So it's a cloud mining service, and I felt like it was one of the best ways for me to get involved in Bitcoin in a very quick and easy way, because they allowed me to buy Bitcoin or through their to mine Bitcoin through a cloud. So basically, they store all the equipment, and I just reap the profits from it. A lot of people say that it was a Ponzi scheme. It very well still could be. These guys show that they have their Bitcoin miners out in Netherlands and other places as well, Iceland, and that's how they do their business. They've been around for quite a while, and so I invested with them back in December 2016. I invested $1,050, and that $1,050, after the course of what are we in, 9 months, I gained 100% on that, and 100% profit. So they sent me over $2,000 total, including my initial balance. But if I would have invested in Bitcoin back in 2016, strictly into the market, so if I would have just directly bought Bitcoin and held on to it when Bitcoin was roughly $750 back in 2016, December 2016, I would have increased my investment by over 400%. So I didn't go about that the right way. Yes, I had a good feeling that Bitcoin was going to go up at that time, but I just went about it in the wrong way. So no, this isn't going to be a stream recommending or a video recommending Genesis Mining. No, I feel like if you're going to invest in Bitcoin or in cryptocurrency, you should go directly into the market. So that's what I'm going to talk about today: is how to do that, why, and which cryptocurrency am I going to be concentrating on, and how am I going to do that. So this website shows all the cryptocurrencies in rank for how much, and the rank is based on market cap, which basically means how much funds or how many funds are involved in one particular cryptocurrency. As you can see, 68 billion right now in Bitcoin is being held, and that equals out to be 16 million Bitcoins. Now the market cap for Bitcoin, or not the market cap, but the supply cap for Bitcoin right now is 22 million coins. That means that eventually Bitcoin won't be able to be created anymore or mined anymore. And so that could increase its value, or it could decrease. But since Bitcoin has raised so much in value over the course of the last 7 years, we're trying to find the next successor. A lot of people think it's going to be Ethereum, Ripple, a bunch of these other ones, Litecoin, Dash has also been in there. But why? Why do people think that these cryptocurrencies are the ones that are going to be next in line? Well, Bitcoin is based on a fairly old technology that was introduced, which is called a blockchain. By the way, this video is not going to be explaining what cryptocurrency is. I expect you to do that on your own, and I'm not going to explain to you what a blockchain is either. The technology is something that Bitcoin is based on, and how it's part of its development. It's an older technology, and it was a technology that was introduced back in 2010, and something that people didn't really understand, and uh, and didn't know if the technology would take off and become something of value. It did. And if you look at all of these cryptocurrencies, the top 100, most of them, if not all of them, have used a similar technology that Bitcoin has, or introduced back 7 years ago. And all these other cryptocurrencies try to mimic or try to improve upon the old technology, but it's still just pretty much a rehash of the same tech. Why was Bitcoin such an anomaly back then? Because it introduced something that was so new and different in the technology world, and it really took off. And so now, since it was an anomaly, now that idea, that technology is widely known, and that's why we have all these copycats trying to follow Bitcoin in its tracks. I just don't see any of these other Bitcoins really picking up in a big way like Bitcoin did. Because a lot of these guys, a lot of these investors are going to just invest in Bitcoin, the one that is secure, the one that has been increasing in value for so many years now. Why go and jump into something else that's so new and unproven, or that's just old technology rehashed? So I did a little bit of research, and have been over the last couple weeks, trying to find the best way to get involved in cryptocurrency without just jumping blindly on the bandwagon with everybody else out there. Since my investment gave me 100%, I made $1,000 off my investment, and continues to give me money each day. I'm wanting to kind of expand that. So what I'm going to recommend to you guys, or to myself really, is how I'm approaching this is I'm not going to be investing in any of these other cryptocurrencies, except for, on a small way, maybe one or two other than Bitcoin itself. Bitcoin itself, to me, is the best option, because you don't have to buy $4,139 worth of Bitcoin to get involved. And it's likely not going to just stop at 4,139 either. It's likely going to continue to increase in value over the coming years. And these other ones will likely, a good portion of them won't make it. They'll fall off the charts, or they'll be just used as like a penny stock. Let's see if I can find something. So something that launches up in a matter of hours or days. Let's see if this pulls up. Okay, so not a good example there. I'm trying to find a cryptocurrency that has, there we go. See, they have like these huge pushes of volatility, and then they come back down. It's very similar to how, so it's like really flat, big push, pull back down. Very similar to how a penny stock works in the U.S. market, where what they call a pump and dump. And you don't want to be part of that with these cryptocurrencies, and it's really easy to fall into that. So all of these cryptocurrencies, or most, do include, like I said, this blockchain technology, except for really one, IOTA. And you can see in the last 7 days, IOTA has gone up in value. IOTA is pretty new. It's been around only since, I think, June. It went on the market on June 13th, so the last 2 months. So what makes this cryptocurrency so special? Well, if you go to the website, you'll see that it does not include a blockchain for its technology. It's not copying the other cryptocurrencies. Yes, that might be a bad thing, because they're saying, well, copy what works and what has been working, what's trusted. But there's huge issues with blockchains and how cryptocurrencies use that technology. It's a technology that is heavily based in fees. There's a lot of fees for transactions, sending, receiving Bitcoin, for example, using that blockchain. There's a lot of fees involved in receiving and sending transactions. With IOTA, it uses this new technology called Tangle. It allows for the person sending or receiving to verify 2 other transactions while they're receiving their transaction themselves. A technology that is so much smoother and quicker than Bitcoin. Bitcoin, a blockchain, needs to be verified by a miner of Bitcoin, so somebody that's creating the Bitcoin, has to be verified, and sometimes that can take anywhere from a few minutes all the way up to 30 minutes, in some cases a lot longer than that. And so it's a very slow and fee-based technology. I mean, Bitcoin blockchain technology has been around for such a long time, and it needs to adapt to how the technology constantly is moving, where technology is constantly moving, which is improvements, quicker speeds, and so on and so forth. So that's how this Tangle works, is that it's a technology that negates the fees, or it just gets rid of the fees entirely. And it's much quicker on confirmations and sending funds. So looking at this technology, I was looking at it and seeing that, what are the benefits of that? Well, with my experience with Bitcoin, there are so many fees involved. Fees sending, fees receiving, and so much money is wasted in that it actually gets a little bit frustrating. And so I feel like IOTA is trying to hit on a part of the cryptocurrency market that is very flawed. Yes, IOTA is very new. It's a new technology. It's something that is trying something different, but it's trying to improve upon and adapt to what the user base, what individuals, what the technological age really wants. Faster transactions, less fees, more value. So since this technology is new, a lot of people find maybe it can't be trusted yet. But it's the same thing that happened with Bitcoin back 10 years ago. Blockchains, nobody knew what they were. Could they be trusted? Could we trust that hackers weren't going to break into it? That's actually one of the reasons why Bitcoin increased in value so much. It's because hackers really had a hard time trying to break down Bitcoin. And IOTA, with their new technology, maybe it's not as proven yet that technology is going to really take off like Bitcoin did back years ago. But it's something that I see as innovative and different than the rest of the cryptocurrencies that are just trying to tag behind Bitcoin. And it's so cheap right now. It's 94 cents for 1 IOTA. And if 94 cents, that's how Bitcoin started way back when, at a small amount, and eventually went to 4,139 for 1 Bitcoin. Even if this increased to sorry about that. Even if this increased to $50, that would be a 5,000 increase on my investment. So a $100 investment would turn in, a $500 investment would turn into $5,000. $5,000. If I'm doing that right. But it's your small investment, even of like $100 right now, could turn into potentially millions if you hold on to it in a long time, and this technology actually continues to gain market attention. All right. So that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about with cryptocurrencies in regards to what I'm looking at to invest in and concentrate my time in. So how am I going to approach that? How am I going to approach IOTA? How am I going to get involved in IOTA? So since I think that the technology is good, it's new, it may be a little bit unproven right now, but it has all the things that people want in a cryptocurrency right now. And so let's say that you are interested in getting involved in jumping in either the Bitcoin market or the cryptocurrency market in general. How to do so? It's not that easy to figure out how to get involved because you can get scammed. There's so many different Bitcoin scams out there where if you're trying to buy Bitcoin with a credit card or PayPal or something, you can easily get scammed by some website that's trying to take advantage of newbies in this technological world of Bitcoin. So where to start? A good place is Coinbase, Coinbase.com. Now I'm not I don't have like a referral link or anything like that. This website is just not how I work this video series. I'm not affiliated with this with Coinbase. You won't see a link in my description of the video at all. This is a place where you can buy Bitcoin with a credit card, buy Bitcoin with your bank account, or a prepaid Visa. And it's really simple and easy. So basically what they do, they verify your account, you buy Bitcoin with your credit card, they send the Bitcoin to your Coinbase account, and then you can send your Bitcoin to anywhere you want. Whether it's your own little Bitcoin wallet. Now Bitcoin wallet, for you guys that don't understand it, it's a place where you can basically put your money and it's protected. It's an encrypted wallet, and it's where you can send your funds and leave them there indefinitely if you wanted to. And while they gain value if the Bitcoin value increases in the market. So that's my Bitcoin wallet is BitPay. Why do I have BitPay? BitPay is a wallet that allows you to get a credit card, a Visa credit card. So that means that I have one coming in the mail, and they'll send me a credit card, and I can load my Bitcoin onto this credit card and use it just like I would any credit card out in the real world. So it swaps my Bitcoin or changes my Bitcoin into cash, into dollars, and I can use it in the ATM. So another way to use Bitcoin very easily. Now that's the thing that always kept me out of Bitcoin, was the ease of use, figuring out how to get involved. It was always so complicated, so many fees involved. And so now that's why I've decided to do this, because I feel like it's the right time to do it. We have a lot more options at our disposal to make Bitcoin a more viable source of value or income, using, at least in this day and age. I think that it will get easier as time goes on, but I think this is a good place to start. So they also have a wallet, and that's the thing I'm using right now, BitPay wallet on my phone, and then I transfer the funds from my my e-wallet or my desktop wallet as well to the card, and I can use the card anywhere I want. Alright, so that's one way to use Bitcoin. So what about going to the exchange? Going directly into the market to buy either Bitcoin or Litecoin or Ethereum or even IOTA. How do you do that? Well, it's real simple, because once you get your funds sent to your Coinbase account, you can send them directly to your exchange. And I'm using bitfinex.com. Again, not affiliated. You guys got to remember that I'm not affiliated with any of the websites that I'm talking to you about. Even if I was affiliated, there would be no links. You only should be suspicious about me being affiliated with something if I have a link in the video description that you're watching right now, and luckily I do not. Okay, so I actually bought $575 worth of IOTA here at MaverickFX. It was real simple. Just go into deposit Bitcoin, and it takes, well, in some cases it could take a little longer for you, but it took me about 5 to 10 minutes for those Bitcoin transactions to be verified. One of them I think took 30 minutes. That was the problem I was talking to you about with blockchains. They take a little while to validate. So I bought this this investment at about 92 cents. So 90, when it says 0.95 to 100, 92 cents. This has already increased in value since I've gotten in, and I'm already up $20 in my value since I purchased IOTA. So IOTA has increased by 7% since yesterday, which is, I got in a little bit later than that. So right now, I guess my investment has moved up quite a bit just in the last day or two. So how do I plan to utilize this asset? I'm not just going to, I'm potentially going to just buy and hold if it continues to increase in value. I'll just utilize my $596. There's a possibility that I may add more later on if it jumps back down and I find a good place to enter. I'm going to utilize this cryptocurrency market like I do with my standard way of trading, which is basket trading. And that is entering the market when I feel like there's going to be a potential bounce. So let's take, for example, you can see up here, peak, right? It fell back down. Well, what about using my inside candle strategy? Well, I don't see any inside candles up there, but what about right here? That's an inside candle setup, and it actually bounced from there, right? So I can actually use the similar price action techniques that I'm using in my trading strategies with the Forex market, and potentially use it in the crypto market. And that's what I'm exploring right now. I'm exploring it with a small amount of funds, and that may end up being something bigger. So why now? Why the cryptocurrency? Because at least I feel like there is good value in some assets right now, and I want to try to take advantage of it. And I want to see how many markets my strategies and ideas can work with. And I feel like since the cryptocurrency market is really hot right now, the awareness about them is increasing, and they will continue to increase as people continue to see more value in them. And that's how more people get involved, and that's how the cryptocurrency market as a whole gets bigger. Okay, so that's pretty much all I wanted to go over today in the stream, and I've already done this for almost 2 hours because my last video the sound wasn't working. I definitely tested it this time to make sure it was working. Just a very quick update on what's going on with the video series from here on out. My family and I have been being filmed by a documentary. So he's making a film of my family and the about the musical side. Since you know that I play the piano and have been for many years, and professionally for 12 years with my 4 other siblings, and we've had a filmmaker following us around for the last 2 years, and that documentary is almost done. It should be releasing early next year. I've been asked to compose some music for this film, and so I'll be spending a good portion of my time doing that, which will pull away from the video series that I'm doing now. So it will be less videos, but I'll still be doing them every week, just not as many, and for the next couple months. Alright, so sorry about that, but I still will be giving updates to you guys on what's happening, profit expectations, and how my trading is going, what's going on with the cryptocurrency market, things like that. All right, so let me know if this is something that you're interested in. Are you interested in cryptocurrency? Is this something that kind of pisses you off? Am I copping out on you by moving into another market? I don't feel like I am, because I feel like that's how the trading works. If you do trading in one area, why not expand into other areas as well? And that's what I'm doing in this video series, is telling you how to do that, how to expand your expertise into a different area that may have been daunting or overwhelming in the past. So I hope that this was helpful to you, and if you want to know more about cryptocurrency, look it up on Google. What is a blockchain? What is cryptocurrency? What's Bitcoin? And you'll be able to find out more about it. And if you have any questions about the crypto market, let me know. I'm still not an expert in it, so keep that in mind. There's still a lot of things that I'm learning. So I might not be the best person to ask with really intricate questions, but I'll do my best. All right, guys. I think that's it for today, and I'll keep you updated on my future performance, probably either later on this week or the beginning of next week. And we're just about to hit $600, and that will be a good $25 profit for me if that's the case. We're really close to it right now on my $575. All right, that I invested. Well, thanks guys for your support, and I hope that you have continued success using my expert advisor that is currently on Forex Factory. Seems like some people are using it. But I guess I did want to hit on one more thing before I go, since we're for the last 3 minutes. Is I can't remember if I've talked about this already, since I just did a video before this that didn't go up, because I talked about this in the last video. Was be careful how you use this expert advisor that's being up on this website. Because I'm watching, I don't want somebody to sell it at all. If I find somebody selling the technology that was shared for free on Forex Factory on my thread, I will seek that person out and try to take them down. I know the right lawyers to go to. I know the right places to search for somebody being sleazy with the information or expert advisor or software that was sold that was freely given on this website. It's one reason why I've kept the information about my recent information about the changes that I've made to my expert advisor somewhat quiet. It's because if somebody is selling my expert advisor and people are using it for free all over the place, I want to continue to still have an edge, just in case that somehow gets more popular. I have disclosed the small changes that I'm currently using in some of my past videos. I'm just not sure if anybody's really picked up on them yet. So I'm sorry if I've already mentioned this already in the video, but I thought I would just make sure that people understand where I stand with all this. I'm happy that my expert advisor is here on Forex Factory. I just don't want it to be abused. Alright guys, thanks again, and I will see you likely next week. Have a good day. Bye.